You are staring at your smart baby monitor at 3 in the morning. Your eyes are heavy as you check the digital room temperature display. You wonder if the organic cotton sheets are soft enough for their skin. Modern parenting feels like a high-stakes game of constant surveillance and worry. Now imagine doing all of this without a thermostat or a local pharmacy. Picture your nursery as a cold cave with a thin leather floor mat. Outside the entrance, things with very large teeth are actively hunting for dinner. If this sounds like a survival horror game, welcome to Ancient Logic. Hit subscribe because we are uncovering how our ancestors actually beat the odds. How did ancient humans keep their infants alive in such a brutal world? The answer will change how you view every sleepless night you face now. For a long time, we believed ancient parents were primitive and perhaps cold. We assumed they were too busy surviving to care for their children deeply. But new archaeological evidence proves that our ancestors were actually expert caregivers. They did not just survive, they built a sophisticated system of child protection. The first secret to their success was never doing it alone. In the ancient world, a solo parent was a very dangerous concept. Our ancestors relied on a strategy we now call the village method. This involved a complex network of alloparenting and collective tribal support. Ancient grandmothers were the secret weapon of the early human survival kit. They lived long past their reproductive years specifically to help the next generation. While mothers gathered food, grandmothers provided critical childcare and wisdom. This allowed mothers to have more children without compromising the survival of others. Think about this the next time you call your mom for help. Your need for a babysitter is actually a deep, ancient survival instinct. It was not just grandmothers who stepped up to the plate either. Ancient fathers were not just distant hunters, as the old myths suggest. They provided paternal provisioning, which was a partnership response to harsh environments. Ancient dads who invested in their offspring saw much higher survival rates. This created a culture of protective fathers that still exists in you today. Even nursing was a communal effort in many early tribal groups. If a mother was ill, other women would often suckle the infant. This cooperative nursing ensured that no child went hungry during a crisis. Every member of the tribe was a stakeholder in that child's life. This is why you feel that weird social pressure at the playground today. Your brain is still looking for the rest of your ancient support tribe. Nutrition was the next major hurdle for these ancient survival experts. Archaeologists have used isotope analysis on ancient teeth to find the truth. They discovered that breastfeeding often lasted between 2 and 4 long years. Breast milk provided essential nutrition and critical antibodies against prehistoric pathogens. In a world without vaccines, milk was the primary defense for a baby. But what happened when it was time to move on to solid food? Before the invention of soft baby food, adults used a technique called premastication. They would chew tough meats and roots into a soft pap for infants. This shared meal helped the baby digest complex nutrients early in life. Believe it or not, some believe this is the origin of human kissing. That modern romantic gesture might have started as a way to feed babies. But ancient humans were also much more inventive than we give them credit. In Bavaria, archaeologists found tiny clay vessels dating back 7,000 years. These small spouted pots were shaped like mythical animals to delight children. Chemical analysis of the residue proved these were the world's first baby bottles. They were used to feed infants animal milk from local goats or sheep. This discovery proves that ancient parents were constantly innovating to help weaning. They were making animal-shaped bottles long before your modern plastic versions existed. It shows a level of tenderness and creativity that defies the primitive stereotype. Keeping a baby safe also meant keeping a baby attached at all times. Ancient humans were highly mobile and moved frequently across vast, dangerous landscapes. They could not leave a baby in a crib while they worked. In 2017, researchers found the burial of a 40-day-old infant named Neve. She was resting in an Italian cave surrounded by 70 perforated shell beads. The arrangement of these beads suggests they were sewn onto a leather carrier. This is evidence of a 10,000-year-old baby sling used for daily travel. Some of these beads showed heavy wear, as if they were old heirlooms. Parents or grandparents likely passed these beads down to protect the new child. This shows that ancient humans valued their children as part of a lineage. Your modern urge to save baby shoes has roots in this ancient behavior. Being carried also triggered a specific biological reaction known as the transport response. Infants have an innate calming response to being moved while being held. This helped them stay quiet and still during travel through predator-rich territory. It is why your baby stops crying the moment you start the car. Your child is literally waiting for the tribe to finish the long hike. Ancient humans were also surprisingly skilled in the field of paleopediatrics. They were not defenseless against the diseases of the prehistoric wilderness. They possessed a sophisticated pharmacy of natural remedies gathered from the earth. Isotope analysis of ancient dental plaque shows they used plants like yarrow. Yarrow is an astringent that helps stop bleeding and heals open wounds. They also used mallow to treat inflammation and soothe sick young children. But their medical knowledge went far beyond simple herbal teas and ointments. Evidence of tree panning or skull surgery has been found in ancient children. Many of these skulls show signs of bone healing after the procedure. This proves that children survived complex surgeries long before modern hospitals existed. Ancient communities were also very skilled at setting broken bones for their young. Healed fractures and skeletons show they provided long-term care for the injured. They did not abandon the weak, they nurtured them back to full health. This is why you feel the urge to text a friend when sick. Your ancestors survived because they cared for each other with absolute devotion. Children in the ancient world were also recognized as learners through play. They were not just treated as small adults who needed to work. Archaeological sites contain hundreds of small clay figures like mammoths and owls. Many of these toys feature the tiny fingerprints of children who made them. These 28,000-year-old toys show that childhood was a time for imagination. Ancient parents also provided their kids with miniature versions of adult tools. Tiny pots and small bows allowed children to practice survival skills safely. They were included in the tribe's craft-making activities from a very young age. This apprenticeship through play turned infants into capable and strong survivalists. If your child loves playing with kitchen spoons, they are practicing survival. Their brain is wired to mirror the work that keeps the tribe alive. Sleep was perhaps the most dangerous time for an ancient human family. For most of history, the concept of a solitary bedroom did not exist. Families slept in tight-knit groups for warmth and protection against the cold. Co-sleeping was a biological necessity to regulate an infant's body temperature. Skin-to-skin contact kept babies warm during the freezing nights of the past. It also allowed mothers to respond instantly to an infant's smallest needs. A silent baby was a safe baby in a world full of predators. This is why your infant screams the moment you put them down alone. In their ancient mind, being alone in a dark room means death. They are not being difficult, they are trying to stay alive with you. There is a common myth that ancient infant mortality was incredibly high. We often hear that 40% of ancient babies died before adulthood. But new research suggests this is a major mathematical misinterpretation of history. High numbers of infant burials actually reflect high fertility rates in tribes. Many babies were being born because the village was thriving and healthy. When babies survived their first years, they often lived into their 70s. The care they received was world-class for the environment they lived in. Ancient humans were not struggling, they were mastering the art of parenting. You come from a long line of survivors who refused to quit. Every instinct you feel today was forged in the fire of ancient survival. You are not malfunctioning, you are simply remembering who you really are. You are never going to not protect the child. Like and subscribe if you feel that ancient connection to your ancestors.